This is a good day to make a statement. Run your race, but when you get to the mile, you focus on that second mile. You guys got to push through and make sure we help each other out. Right? Right? Let's go. Let's go. Kick off the year well. Let's go, ladies.
Why don't we show these boys who the shocks are today, okay?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Welcome to On Pace, Episode 2. It's been a busy couple weeks since our first show. Let's get started. The Shockers opened up their cross-country season on a beautiful day at the JK Gold Classic in Augusta, Kansas. A veteran men's team took down SEC foe Missouri as well as in-state rival Kansas State to earn the overall title.
We kind of just went out to see what we could do as a team. The team looked really good today. It shocked, I think, most of the guys on the team, honestly. Definitely shocked me. I didn't think we were going to be that deep overall, but our team looked really, really good today. Best team so far I've been on the last 2 years I've been here, so it's going to be a great year for us. Great way to start, and we'll see what happens over the next 8 weeks, but if we get better, I don't see why there's no reason we couldn't be battling for a conference championship.
On the women's side, the young Shocker women's team finished the day 1-2 in dual meet scoring as Missouri won the overall title.
I was mostly pleased probably with Winnie and you know, the first 4 or 5 girls in there. Again, we're so young with being freshmen and sophomores, and I mean there's a couple juniors and seniors up there, but it's just a young team. And we got so much to learn and so many things yet to do. Winnie really stepped up from where she was in the last 6 months from being here. And then Rita Schnacker was just awesome as a freshman. Two terrific freshman performances. So our future looks really bright for the women, really bright.
Next up for the Shockers will be the Missouri Stampede in Joplin, Missouri on September 16th. Look for WSU to run a few more athletes than at the JK Gold Classic as they will match up with new American Conference rival Tulsa as well as many other teams.
Not 100% sure what Coach has in mind, but if we do run our full roster, it's going to be a really good day for us hopefully, and if we run to our potential, we'll be battling for the title, I assume.
There were lots of former Shockers and Shocker coaches at the JK Gold Classic. One of the former Shocker coaches was Missouri head man Mark Burns, who was the WSU distance coach from 2006 to 2010, leading the Shocker women to 4 straight MVC titles. We had a chance to catch up with Coach Burns after the race about his thoughts on WSU.
Yeah, it's just a special place. It's one of those places that is very unique in that once people come here, rarely do they leave because it's such a great place. And to see the track and field staff, I still say our track and field staff in place here, and just with the difference of Coach Hunter is awesome. So it's great to see all of you guys, the success that you guys continue to have, just amazing. And now as you head into the new conference, I'm excited to see what you guys can do. I know you're going to go in there and just tear it up. So it's pretty cool, pretty special to be back.
The meet's namesake, John Cornelison, JK, of the JK Gold Classic, was also on hand Saturday. We had a chance to catch up with him as well.
Yeah, we actually started at Echo Hills, and we hosted the NCAA National Meet in 80 and 81. And as a matter of fact, 81 was the first men and women's combined championship in the NCAA of any sport. They closed that course down. We went to Cessna Activity Center for 2 years, and we were actually running by here, and I didn't know this was even a golf course. But when we finished our run, we started walking through here, and as it turned out, there were 3 of our officials that were on the board of directors here. And we asked them if we could lay out a course, if they were interested in doing that. They were more than willing to help us put on a meet, and we've hosted many meets, the NCAA meet, JUCO National meet here. So it was just a wonderful story to put together.
One of the legendary names in Shocker track and field history is Herm Wilson. Coach Wilson recently turned 90 years old, and at the JK Gold Classic, many of his former athletes came out to celebrate.
Cross country is something that kind of grabs you, and you either like it or you don't, but I happen to be one of the cross country nuts of the country, and although I didn't run, I fell in love with it, and of course I think our record at Wichita State in my time spoke for itself, as we had 5 conference championships and several All-Americans, and it was great for us. We had the NCAA cross-country meet in 1980 and 81, first women's NCAA meet, and so Kansas really grabbed a hold in the Wichita area, certainly supported us in the great course of cross country.
Also, later that evening, a dinner and banquet were held in Coach Wilson's honor. It was great seeing one of the all-time Shocker greats back on campus.
My name is Daisha Bullocks, and we're here at the JK Gold Classic to support our teammates today. So today we're going to just talk to the fellow athletes and just see what they're going to be doing today at the meet.
We are here to support our team.
Yeah, I'm ready to cheer on our cross-country team. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to be a great day.
Tell the viewers what your name is.
Ben Johnson.
And tell them what you're doing here.
I am a gear attendant. I really have no idea what that means. My first year here, I was a parking assistant. My second year, I was catching people at the very end. And last year, I was a course attendant. So I'm doing something different every year, but that keeps you versatile and well-rounded.
We're here again. This time we're with our Spaniards. They're here today, and just tell us like what you guys are going to be doing today.
I think we're both doing junction. I guess that is just cheering for people. This is my first year here, and I'm very excited. I'm very happy to be here with the team.
Today, you guys were able to see a little bit of what we go through every year with our JK Gold Classic. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it.
In episode 1 of On Pace, we had a chance to talk to former Shocker All-American Alafine Tuliamuk. In the recent USATF 20K championships, she finished second in the professional division and still leads the overall standings with 2 races to go. She has now earned nearly $50,000 on the circuit in 2017. September is a very busy month for cross-country and road racing. Here's the upcoming schedule. Even though they don't have a meet for several months, the track and field team is already out there working hard in Cessna Stadium on a daily basis. We got a chance to catch up with throws coach John Hetzendorf this week on his thoughts about the upcoming season.
So guys, try to be quick.
47.5.
Well, right now we're just doing some of the, I guess, tests we do throughout the year just to measure kind of power and explosion. And you know, with the first day, we're just doing some of the simpler tests, trying to really get a baseline for where we're at. Gives me a chance to see where newcomers are, compare our returners to where they were last year when we left off, and just where they've been in the past, and just kind of collecting some data to see where my group is. You know, I would say the women's side and the men's side are 2 different situations. On the men's side, we have a very young group. It's going to be a lot of learning going on. On the women's side, though, we have a pretty veteran group coming back. We do have some newcomers, but we have some great athletes. Kelsey Slauson and Tyra Bickham, Megan Williams, you know, some conference champions, all conference performers coming back. So a little bit less learning and more just trying to keep building on what we've done in the past on the women's side. So.
Today we're going to talk about Usain Bolt retiring and maybe who would be the next star of track and field. With me today is the president of Shocker Track Club, Darren Musey, sophomore from Wichita State, Daisha Bullocks, head coach of Cali County Community College, Mark Phillips, owner of First Gear Running Company, Raquel Stuckey, and cross country and head distance coach at Friends University, Jason Parr. So as Usain Bolt has exited the world of track and field and he's been the star for the past decade, who is going to rise to become the next, big name in the sport?
First, Coach, I'm not so sure that he's actually going to retire. That was a pretty difficult meet for him, and I can't imagine that he'll go out on what might be a sour note for him. That said, I think the next great star will come out of next year's NCAA championship meet. I think a lot of people would agree that that's probably the second best meet in track and field in the world with all of the world talent that we have. So I'm going to wait before I give you an answer.
Okay. So, Mark, you've been around this sport for a long time. What do you think?
Well, I don't disagree with Darren. One of the ones that I thought of, and he's a former JUCO athlete, is Degrassi. And that dynamic a year ago between he and Bolt just seemed to catch everybody's attention. And so we'll see. I don't know if he's at that level, but we'll see.
Daisha, as a current athlete in college track and field, who do you think is somebody maybe even on the female side that might become a star of the sport?
Well, I think on the men's side, for the sprints, definitely Coleman. I think he's definitely been coming up in the ranks. I know that I'm pretty sure he went professional. So I think he's, for the event, for sprints, I think for sure. And then I think for like the mid-distance, like the 400, I think Fred Curley is really coming up there. I know he had like an amazing season collegiately, winning indoor and outdoor 400, and he was able to compete in the 400 for a world. So I think that he's coming up for sure. For the women's side, I think that like he was saying, the potential is going to come out of the NCAA this year, indoor and outdoor, because there's so many good athletes that are just kind of like waiting for their time. So I definitely think that they're going to be the next upcoming women's for the women's side.
Jason, what do you think?
I think let's think about what Usain Bolt's brought to track and field over the last decade of just amazing talent and running. I think the question will be who is next? And for the next several years, people are going to be looking to see who can match Usain Bolt's talent level, and really finding that dominant sprinter that can really replicate what track and field is. I would say over the last several years, track and field has grown because of what he's brought to the table, the excitement of filling the stadiums and people wanting to come watch him run. We can only hope that we find that same talent's going to keep coming. So.
I agree with that. The talent, but then again, the attraction that Usain Bolt brought to track and field was very much a flair of his personality. I don't know, I'm a fan of the 400 Van Niekerk, I mean, you just can't, that is incredible. That's very raw, very young talent that I think can definitely bring a lot of attention to that 400 meter. And I don't know if he's got quite the flair, but it's certainly there. And there's always that little bit of turmoil, with the whole Gatlin issue, and you never know what those things are going to come up. They always do in track and field. It's just not right away. That's usually over time. So
yeah, hopefully we'll have a popular, well-known star for the right reasons in track and field. And I think sometimes we tend to think of American stars, but it's such a global sport that there's stars coming around from all over the place, like Van Niekerk. So that was one that I had thought of and kind of stole my thunder. But I think it's exciting because there's always someone. There's always one or two stars that do seem to rise. And I think the Olympic sports to the public, but for us, what's so much fun is there's stars everywhere. And that's what makes track and field so much fun to follow, is that every event has somebody that is doing amazing things all the time. And it could be any of those athletes at any time. So. Some very interesting discussion. Thank you, guys. What do you guys think? Add your discussions to our website and our comments, and we'd love to hear who everybody thinks would be the next star of track and field. We're here this week with Zack Penrod, redshirt sophomore from Kansas City, Missouri, and Raytown High School. Zack, thanks for joining us. The men looked really strong on Saturday with 5 guys running personal records. How does this season stack up for the Shockers, do you think?
It's looking really good right now, especially our top 5, even our top 7. We're so deep that it's almost interchangeable.
You had a big PR in the 6K. You haven't run that a lot. What do you attribute your early season success to? Is that a good summer?
Yeah, definitely summer training is a part of it, and I think just having confidence. I'm definitely more of a track guy, so learning the sport of cross country is definitely something that's helped me.
So going back to high school, how did you get started running? And you're kind of known for your big kick.
Penrod making a move here really strong. Let's see if Zack can muster it up here as he comes down the stretch. It's going to be neck and neck.
Crowd is on their feet.
It's getting loud. Penrod at the lean there.
Did that something that started when you were young, or is that something that developed later?
I played soccer for the majority of my childhood, so I've always had a decent amount of foot speed. But I never really noticed any sort of kick at the end of the race until my senior year of high school at the state track meet in the 1600. I was probably, with 150 to go, I was probably 30, 40 meters back and ended up getting second.
So you've obviously had a lot of success at Wichita State. Why has Wichita State been a great place for you to come and run and also be a student athlete?
In terms of the sport, I think it's definitely the coaching staff. There's just a ridiculous amount of help that you guys have given us as athletes. And that translates over to school as well. If I'm training well, if I'm racing well, then I'm going to be doing well in the classroom.
So what, to end this a little bit on, what are some of your personal goals for the season?
Of course, there are certain times that I want to hit, but I think overall it's just I want to be able to compete at a national level.
And so what were some of the times maybe that you're thinking of in some of your events?
For the mile, as close to 4 minutes as I can. Sub 150 for 800, and then if I can get into a 3K, maybe breaking Woods' school record is something I'm looking at.
And I'm sure, at the regional meets, it's all about how you place.
Right.
And so getting in the right race and being in the right moment, being able to compete at that regional or national level. Is that something that gets you excited as you start thinking about the next phase of what you're trying to do?
Yeah, of course. Love racing.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us. We thought we'd end the show on a fun little way. Maybe we call it the Fast Five with Zack Penrod. So I'm going to ask you 5 questions.
Okay.
And give me your quickest response, the first thing that comes to mind.
Got it.
Okay, first one, track workout or long run?
Track workout.
800 or 1500?
1500.
Cross country or track?
Track 100 times.
What is the favorite class you've ever had at WSU?
Not physics, too.
Who is the funniest guy on the team?
Gage Garcia.
All right, thanks, Zack. So Zack Penrod, look for him to be doing big things in 2017-18 on Shocker Track and Field. Thanks for joining us.
No problem.
Here's a good view of the finisher as Penrod takes the lead.
Join us again next time on Pace.